Hey guys, so obviously different setup here, somewhat different face. I am doing the makeup book tag, I think that's what it's called. I was tagged by Stephanie at This Unicorn Reads. If you do not follow her or subscribe to her already, you totally should because she's freaking hilarious. I'll link her down below. And in honor of her, it's not beer, but I'm drinking an Angry Orchard hard cider because I love it. I mean, it's basically apple juice that'll get you a little intoxicated. So yeah, she's always got her beer on hand. So I figured since she tagged me, I would follow suit. So just FYI, I am not a makeup person. And not because I'm like, oh, I don't need it. Like, whatever, nobody needs it, right? I just don't like it. I don't care about it. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with anything other than the basics. So there are certain things on this tag that like I don't own as far as makeup goes, but I'll still answer the questions. So whatever. Okay, without further ado, let's do this. So question 1 is for primer, and it's a book that has made a lasting impression. I do not own primer. I wouldn't know what to do with primer, so I'll just answer the question. A book that's had a lasting impression, I talked about this in one of my book chats. Caucasia by Danzy Senna is definitely a book that I feel had a lasting impression. As I mentioned in my book chat video with that, I grew up in a rural, predominantly white town in the middle of nowhere, Michigan, and great childhood. I loved my hometown, but it's like a little bit of a bubble with not any diversity. I was gonna say not a lot. There's like none. And I was aware of the world, of course. I wasn't like that much in a bubble myself, thanks to my parents. But I read that book when I was in middle school or high school, I think. And it's just one of those books that really takes you into a different person's life. I really enjoyed it. I haven't read it in years and I don't remember like every detail about it at this point, but I just remember that it stuck with me, that I was seeing this whole other like perspective. And I was like hungry for that, I think, when I was a kid. Okay, number 2 is foundation. I don't really have foundation either. I have BB cream. Does that count? But it's actually really old and it smells really weird, so I don't want to put it on my face. The question with this is your favorite first book in a series. I'm going to go with The Hunger Games simply because I had seen this book around for a hot second, and one day I was like, I'm going to read the back of it, whatever. And I read the back and I was like, oh, this could be cool. Like, whatever, I'll check it out. So I picked up just the first book and I freaking devoured it. Like, I forever love The Hunger Games. It's one of my favorites. I stayed up until like 3 or 4 in the morning. I had to work the next day at like 11 a.m. But I stayed up all night. I could not stop. Like, there's books I read where I'm like, oh God, I want to keep reading, but I'm tired. But then there's books like this where I'm just like, nah, I don't need to sleep. Fuck it. Like, I'm just going to keep reading. And that's what I did. Number 3, concealer. I do have this. The question is a character that you would get rid of if you could. Also, I'm not going to like show you all of my makeup. It's all just drugstore makeup. It's like Wet n Wild, L'Oreal, Maybelline. Like, it's nothing fancy. So, and I'm almost out of this actually. Okay, so a character I would get rid of. Is there even any left in here? Okay, there is. And like, seriously, please don't laugh at me. Like, or like berate me in the comments like, what are you doing? Because I don't know. I just go based off of what I feel like I see other people do, but I could be horribly wrong. Anyways, character I would get rid of for books. Why is this so hard? I should have prepared with a question. I'm really following Stephanie's suit because she didn't prepare either. I mean, I haven't read the books, so I guess I've read 2 of the books. I guess I can't really say, but I just watched the leaked video of the Game of Thrones episode for tomorrow. Oops, I couldn't freaking resist. But Cersei, like, I want her to be gone, but more than her Littlefinger. If I could just make him just go away, I would. Like, please, sir, please leave. Like, nobody wants you here. Oh, P.S. Nice view of this red pimple here. And I'm the worst with like trying to cover up because I just feel like it ends up looking like a little dirt mountain, a little clay mountain on my face. Take a sip. It's so good. Okay, that's that. I mean, I feel like there's a difference, but there probably isn't. Number 4 is your favorite last book in a series, and this is for powder. I do have powder. This is like what I use for like foundation. This is what I use for foundation. Is this powder? Again, some drugstore L'Oreal, whatever. Favorite last book in a series? So I don't own this book. I own the 2 middle books. I don't own the first one or the last one. I just picked up book 3 actually. But I'm going to go with The Crimson Crown, which is the final book in the 7 Realms series. I should start doing this, I guess, so you guys can laugh at me some more and my piss poor makeup applying skills. Yeah, I would say that book, just because I remember, the 2 middle books, there were parts where I was kind of like, oh, okay, like, I don't know how much I'm loving this, like, whatever. But then the final book, I really, really liked. Actually, again, I might say, The Hunger Games, what am I trying to say? Mockingjay. I really liked Mockingjay. And I didn't necessarily see it coming. I like knew she was going to do something. Like I knew like something was going to happen, but I didn't know what. And then when that happened, I was like, ooh, perfect. And I'm being really cryptic right now for anybody who hasn't read it, but like if you haven't, like what are you doing with your life though? JK, I'm not judging you. It's okay. I still haven't read Harry Potter. Don't tell anybody. I have read the final book. 5 is Eyebrows, and it's a book everyone should read. I don't really do my eyebrows like ever. I do have stuff to do it. I don't feel like it. I don't know. Should I? Whatever, I'll do it. For this, I'm going to get real serious and say The New Jim Crow, because it's mass incarceration in the age of colorblindness by Michelle Alexander. And while it's a concept that I wasn't like unaware of, basically it's the concept of the new Jim Crow, Jim Crow law back in the day being laws that like after slavery, but in the time where there were still laws about segregation and all of that, and those were like the Jim Crow laws. Well, now those are gone, but they're saying like the new Jim Crow basically is the mass incarceration of people of color, primarily men of color. And whether or not you like agree with that concept, I just think this particular book, and I'm sure there's other books like it on different subjects, but it goes so deep into everything, like the statistics, and it goes into things that you might not necessarily think of. All of the basically systemic racism, and sorry if I'm like pissing anybody off who disagrees with these concepts, but bye if you are. And again, even if you don't necessarily agree, I just think books like this that delve into topics of any kind, of whatever the social issue is, doesn't have to be about racism or whatever, but just books that delve into it deeper and go more in depth and give you maybe a different perspective or a different understanding of it, but you'll at least be able to understand that it's not so simplistic. That the answer to the problem isn't just this like, well, they should stop doing that stuff then. So that is why I would say this is something that I think everyone, most people, if not everyone, should read. I know I'm not going to be able to get everybody to read this book. Number 6 is for eyeshadow, and it's your favorite colors on a book cover. So my favorite color is pink, and there's not a lot of books on my shelf that are pink, that have pink covers. Are there that many books with pink covers? I don't know. I have a couple, like literally 2. This is one of them, Pride and Prejudice. This copy, Word Cloud Classics edition. It's all pink. I dig it. I also like this color here too, this like teal color. So yeah, this one, and this is one of my favorite all-time books, Pride and Prejudice. Love it. I need to do a reread of this soon. Oh yeah, I'm not doing eyeshadow because I do not own eyeshadow. Number 7 is for eyeliner, and it is a dark and mysterious book. Pause, please. Why am I holding the bottle so weird? I'm like, I just saw myself in this mirror and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Dark and mysterious book, dark places. But no, this is very dark and also mysterious. And I've seen some people like hate on her. I don't know if it's Jillian or Gillian. I say Jillian, but I guess correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, I see some people hate on her, but like I thoroughly love her writing style, and I'm totally down for the suspense and mystery and whatnot. It's like creepy in a lot of parts. I've read, I think, all of her books. Ugh, I like so don't want to put on eyeliner right now. Number 1, because then I have to like take it off. And number 2, because like I know for sure I don't do this right. Or like how you're supposed to. I guess I can talk while I'm doing this. Well, maybe, I don't know. Talking about that book. It's a super creepy concept. Like these like satanic like killings and blah blah blah. And I like it because like I don't know, unless I'm just a dumbass, but I had no idea who did it, like who it was. Like you know that like the initial person isn't the person, but like there's so much mystery as far as like who actually did it. And yeah, I enjoyed it. Oh God, see, then y'all done fucked up now. But like seriously. Okay, that's okay. Watch me fuck it up. I keep dropping F-bombs in this video, my mother is gonna be so disappointed. She's subscribed to me, which I just love. And she knows I swear, like a sailor typically. Oh God, what the... Oh my God. But I do try to like suppress it because I don't know. I just do. When I'm around people that like I'm not super familiar with. Because like I don't want to offend people, I guess, you know, if they're like sensitive to swearing and stuff. And like at work, whenever I start a new job, like the first like 2 weeks at least, I'm all like normal and subdued and like, hi, I'm Shoshana. And then pretty quickly, as soon as I can tell that people are cool with it, I let like my weirdness come out and my compulsive swearing come out. Is that fixed though? Number 8 is for blush. It is a book with cringeworthy romance. So yeah, cringeworthy romance. As much as I love it, this sucker and the other books in the trilogy as well, the lovemaking scenes, like I'm here for it. I love the romance. I am Sarah J. Maas, whatever, trash. But yeah, the lovemaking scenes sometimes are like, okay, let's calm down. Although that book, this guy right here, I had some troubles with the ending, like the last like quarter of it, the whole battle. I had some issues. Yeah, but I don't want to get all like spoilery and get all into it. So 9 is for highlighter, and it is a book that brightened your day. I'm gonna go with the Parasol Protectorate series, the whole series, all the books in the whole series. Ah! It's fine. Everything's fine. It's like a paranormal. There's werewolves and vampires and all kinds of stuff. And the main character, Alexia Terabati, is soulless. She does not have a soul. So yeah, she has like different powers, I guess, and personality traits even because of that. And she's just the best, and all the other characters are just the best. And I love the romance in it because her man and her they're pretty evenly matched as far as their stubbornness. 10 is for mascara, and it is a long book. And I just talked about this not only in my Booktubeathon wrap-up, but also in my July wrap-up video. I talked about this, and that is The Aeronaut's Windlass by Jim Butcher. It is freaking ginormous. I really liked that book, though. I did read most of it or listen to most of it, whatever, on Overdrive, so on an audiobook. And I feel like I'm not the best with audiobooks. I get distracted. I can really only listen to them in the car or if I'm like cleaning, but even then, like, it's hard for me to stay focused. So I feel like if I had read it, like just read the physical copy only, I probably would have been able to get through it a lot faster because I really enjoyed it. Like, I loved the storyline and the characters. Like, this is one of those books where, like, you feel like you're friends with the characters, or I did. Like, you feel like you really know them, and not because necessarily he's going into, like, super great detail about, like, everything about them, but, like, he does dialogue really well, I think. Like, in the dialogue, you can tell who's speaking based on the words and, like, how it's being spoken and everything. And then there's the cats, and Raoul is one of my all-time favorite characters. I can't even. So I feel like if I had been reading it, the physical copy, I probably could have gotten through it pretty quickly, regardless of it being, or despite it being wicked long. But because I was listening to it on Overdrive, it took me like the whole month. 11, the final one, is for lipstick, and it is your favorite book kiss. And I have to go back to this sucker, this series, but particularly this book, the second book in the series, Court of Mist and Fury. Because with that book, so I think I'm a dumbass, because in the first book, there was like something that, like, with Rice, I don't know, whatever, with Rice and, where I was like, that was weird. You know, there was like a little bit of foreshadowing, right? But I'm gonna be fancy and put like lip liner on because I didn't have other stuff, but I do have this. So anyway, there was, and this is hard. Yeah, there was a little bit of foreshadowing, but then into the second book, you're kind of like, okay, what's happening here? And there was more foreshadowing. Whoops. That's what happens when you're trying to talk and put on lip liner. There was more foreshadowing, and you were just waiting. Like you guys are waiting now. It was like I was just sitting there waiting, like, get together for Feyre and Rysand, but it wasn't happening. And then when it finally did happen, in that, like, mountain cabin or whatever the hell, I don't know, I need to reread it, I don't remember exactly. When it finally happened, I was, like, so happy, like, overjoyed. So, because once again, I'm trash for Sarah J. Maas. That was a lot to just say my answer. Okay, here's my face with actual makeup on and like actual lip liner and lipstick, which is weird. Yeah, this was fun though. Now I'm gonna take all this off and take my contacts out and probably get ready for bed, cause I'm super cool on a Saturday night. And I'll tag a couple people. I don't know who yet, because I suck at figuring this out ahead of time. But I'll put them down below. So check them out. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.